Guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. I am so excited to be joined by the hottest player, if not the just the overall best player in the world right now, the God RF. Welcome to the channel, man. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Ash? Thanks for inviting me on.
No problem, man. Congratulations on winning the Grand Championship in the CWA Cup.
Thank you, man. And also, I have to say thanks for you hosting it because it is called the CWA Cup for a reason. You sponsored it.
Yeah, I sponsored it, but I have to give full credit to Royale Amar. He put on the entire show. His admins kind of ran it all, and all the amazing streamers who helped out on that. So thank you to everybody who participated, and all the pro players, and all the semi-pros, amateurs who tried out in the qualifiers. So it was really fun. We're already working on like a second tournament, so stay tuned for that for more information on that. But today we're actually going to get into your brain in the grand finals against Lapacati, one of your teammate, and also just one of the other best players in the world. I want to really talk about your deck selection, your strategic, tips for my viewers. But before we get to that, as we're watching this match here against Azilius, which he was playing that crazy giant skeleton deck here. Before we get into the play-by-play here, I want to ask you, God RF, do you think you are the god right now? Do you feel like you can beat any player? I mean, obviously you have. You finished second in Bren Chong Cup a month or two ago as well.
Yeah, I don't really like to say like I'm the best player in the world right now because I think that can really like easily make you complacent, and that's like the last thing that you want in this game.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm definitely like top of my game right now, and I'm like one of the best players. But I wouldn't say like I'm the god right now.
Okay, despite the name, you are not the god, but I like that. I like that. Some humility there, and you're right, because the second you think you're the best is that's when you start to slip, right? Exactly. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your trajectory and growth as a player, because we had you on, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago. You've been around the pro scene for a long time. You were always considered to be a really great player, but it was this last maybe year or so when people started to look at you as like, wow. I remember like Trainer Luis was one of the first guys. He's like, dude, God RF is like just insane, and people do not recognize this. Now they definitely recognize it. But do you think did you get better like over the years? Was there a clicking moment where you're like, wow, I get this. I am, I feel so good compared to what I was? Or do you always think you were good and we just were sleeping on you?
I think I've definitely improved a lot over the past like year or so. Because like when I first started playing competitive, I just played ladder and I would only play like 2 decks maybe. But like once I started playing CRL, that's when you have to learn more decks. And I think a big reason for my growth is obviously Luis, my coach. And also I want to give a shout out to Lapo and Royale, because they're like, Royale's the best beatdown player and Lapo's one of the best cycle players. So being on teams with them, like they help you learn those decks a lot better. And that's why I know how to play these other decks so well.
Yeah, so you were known as a graveyard player. Do you feel like your skills with graveyard kind of translate well to almost any other archetype, just because you have to be so patient with graveyard?
Yeah, I think the main factor that makes graveyard players really good is the patience, because if you're impatient with graveyard, you're gonna lose a lot of games with it, and it helps you like teach you to like not be so aggressive and just go in when you have like a good opportunity to go in.
Yeah, talk a little bit about your mindset going into these matches. Like, let's pick one. Like, pick graveyard deck. What's your mindset going into a match versus your mindset going in with a faster cycle deck like mine or skeleton barrel that you played, that you're playing actually right now, or versus like a beatdown deck. Like, what is your mentality early on with those different archetypes?
Yeah, so with graveyard, you have to be careful like early on in the game. So the main thing I do with graveyard is just try to figure out what deck they're playing first before like I do any graveyards or do any like big pushes. So usually I'll just start with like a Goblin Hut maybe, or just wait for them to play their cards. Otherwise, with like a cycle deck, you're playing immediately, you're cycling miners, and with their running isn't as like, it's not that big of an issue if they have like some deck that you weren't expecting, because you can usually defend.
You just kind of jump right into your game. You're a game.
Yeah, with miner, you start away instantly. You're going.
Okay.
But also
and
with like a beatdown decks, it's also pretty similar to graveyard. You don't want to like do any big plays too quickly, because that can like instantly lose you the game. So you also want to be pretty patient if you have like a giant deck or a golem deck. And like once you figure out what deck they're running, that's when you can like start to think to yourself what you need to do to like break through and how you're gonna have to build your pushes to break through.
Cool. In this deck that you're playing right now here, and this is such a close game. I mean, it ends here. You guys can see in a draw, but with RF actually getting the damage advantage there. So, you know, with this particular deck, obviously it has the new skeleton barrel in it. Goblin Hut is everywhere right now. Do you see those two cards as being like S tier meta?
Yeah, definitely. The Goblin Hut it's really strong right now, especially because of the 3 goblins that spawn in death. It just like. You can't let 4 goblins that are coming at your tower go. Like, it's going to do 300-400 damage, and that's huge in these tight games. So I really think Goblin Hut's S tier, and then also Skelly Barrel, if you don't like drop a building on it, it does 110 damage every single time. And it's like 3 elixir, they have to use their spell for it. It's also S tier in my opinion.
Yeah, I saw that actually Vulcan did like his card tier list, and the only 2 cards that he put in S tier were those 2 cards. So I wasn't sure if he was just overreacting to the buffs, or if that's like the consensus amongst at least the pro community that there are. I mean, they don't feel oppressively like broken to me, do they? To you?
It's not broken how like Night Witch was in the past, or how like E-Golem, for example. But I would definitely put them S tier because I think they're the best cards right now.
Awesome, man. Let's go ahead and jump into the finals versus Lapos. Let's sync up and be right back. All right, guys, here we go inside the first match of the grand finals here. One final question before we actually get to the Lapo and the gameplay here is, what do you think? We're looking at this tournament level standard here, obviously in today's video, but what do you think are like 2 of the most safe decks? That you can pick up. I won't want to say low skill cap, but just like easy to pick up and kind of learn and have success with for ladder right now, in your opinion.
First deck, I would say probably the Graveyard Goblin Hut deck right now. It's pretty similar to play. I showed the deck to my dad, and he's like 6,000 trophies, so he's all right, but not too good. And he's had pretty good success with it, he's told me. So like the main principle of the deck is, if they you just have to cycle Goblin Huts a lot. And if they have poison, like they have to use their poison on the Goblin Hut, and once they do that, that's when you can go into like push with your Graveyard, and usually they'll get a lot of damage because they'll have their counter out.
Okay. And do you have another one too? Yeah.
Yeah, my other deck I would say is the Balloon Miner Log Snowball deck. It's like has Bomb Tower also. It's like a pretty fast cycle balloon deck.
Okay.
And the reason that deck is so good right now is because like there's a lot of bait in the meta right now. You can see all these Skelly Barrel decks and Goblin Barrel decks and Bats decks. And that deck has Snowball and Log, so if you have like all your spells in hand and you do a Balloon Miner push, they're going to have like a lot of trouble defending that push.
Good call. I was actually going to mention that we saw a lot of balloon cycle in this tournament, so it's definitely back, and you're right, it makes sense to be given all the bait that's around. So you had a really nice King Tower activation here. Bring us into this match here against Lapo. Lapo playing another Skeleton Barrel Mega Knight deck, the deck that we all know and love. I think the last card, Inferno Dragon. So what is your mindset going in here against Lapo, by the way?
Yeah, so in this game I realized that he doesn't have a big spell, so that's like a big key that you have to realize when you play these games. So I really just have to play like my defense really well, because if I fall behind early, that's like pretty much the game already. So you just have to play your defense really well early and just like play like these games you have to play like super like well, because like one mistake, for example, can just be the game over already.
Yeah, so like right now in your head, you play the Bomb Tower first, then you play the Bats, then you play the Knight. Was the order that you played those 3 cards important?
I probably played the Bomb Tower first because I didn't have any other cards in cycle.
Okay.
But yeah, you just like when he does the Mega Knights in the back, it's pretty important to defend like first and then like counter push.
Yeah, and I noticed that you sent that miner in before the push was died down. Is that something that you do often?
Yeah, like in that case right there, his push was pretty weak in my opinion, so I knew I could defend it pretty well. So that's why I pressured. And here, just like this miner is chipping away in the back, it's getting so much damage, and it forces him to play his Skelly Barrel also. So that's kind of a waste. It's not going to get much value.
So you got to be feeling pretty good right now in this match. Plus, you have to activate King Tower too.
Yeah, and another thing I like to do a lot is like Skelly Barrel pressure while he's like doing these Mega Knight pushes, because it makes him like spend his snowball, so then my Bats can just clean up really well on defense.
Nice. Wow, there's a lot kind of going through your mind here, especially against a player like Lapo. Obviously, you must consider Lapocati one of the best players in the world as well, right?
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best players in my opinion.
Is there like a different tactic that you have going into any battle against him? Like, do you know him well enough to say, yeah, against Lapo, I'm going to need to do this?
Not really like an exact tactic, but
yeah,
I'm not going to use
small
like
things.
I'm not going to use like too heavy of decks that are just going to get like dismantled by his cycle decks because he's a mainly cycle player.
Got you.
So like in tactics in game, not really, but deck choice, yeah.
Okay, got you. So here you're looking pretty good here. You're getting a lot of damage. You're getting a lot of value out of your Dark Goblin too.
Yeah, he like the Dark Goblin's pretty key in this matchup because he only has Snowball and Miner to like really hurt it. So if you just play your Dark Gobs really far back, he can't like it's gonna get so much value and you're gonna be able to defend pretty well.
So
and another thing,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Another thing that I'm doing this game is I'm just saving my bar barrel literally every time for the Skelly Barrel, because like I really don't have a good counter besides that in the bomb tower. So if you just save your bar barrel for his Skelly Barrel, it's like a good way to make sure he doesn't get any damage.
Dude, and now he's getting like desperate because he has to in the left, so he's going with Mega Knights aggressively. So here you just apply some pressure. You're just leaning on your Knight and your bats, and there you use a bar barrel. So nice defense.
Yeah, and that Dark Gob right in the middle, it gets value on both lanes, and you can't like kill it at all without spending his Miner.
Dude, Dark Goblin's insane, especially in this matchup for you. It's just like you said, it's just he doesn't have anything for it. And there we go. Another very close one, and not able to take down a tower, but you win very, decisively, I guess, over the damage advantage there. So now going into match number 2, our next match, we'll talk about your mindset. Let's go ahead and sync up for match 2. All right, so match 2, you both start out with a Skeleton Barrel. Surprise, surprise. You're running Bomb Tower again. What were the bans here?
I think I'm not sure if this is the first specify that I think he might have decided to just do no bans.
Okay, I'm like, why are there no bans on there? But yeah, okay.
Yeah, he just saved his ban every game.
So either way, he's starting a Skeleton Barrel. You start a Skeleton Barrel. Okay, you have a pretty good idea of the deck he's running at this point. Yeah. What is your strategy, or how is it going to change from the first match in this one?
Yeah, so for game 2, I decided to repeat decks because I felt like pretty confident with this deck. I won pretty like decisively. Mm-hmm. But in this matchup, I have to play a little differently because he has poison now, and that like helps him a lot to take out the Dark Gobs, as you see there. Mm. So this matchup, it's a lot harder than the last one because of the poison, and also the Hunter is a good pickup for the Miner. So you have to this is kind of a difficult matchup for me, I think, also because he has Snowball for my bats, and I don't have anything to kill his bats. So these bats pushes, bats Miner, bats Mega Knight can be pretty troublesome for me to defend without spending too much elixir.
Do you agree with that poison that he used there? Obviously, it wasn't able to totally defend. I'm sure he had an awkward hand or something, but do you do that as well? Like use a poison if you have no other responses on a push?
Yeah, he just used a Snowball on offense, so he kind of had to he had to use the poison on defense, or else he would have taken a lot more damage than that, I think.
Yeah, when you use the bats on defense, was that going through your mind that he'll have if he takes that Snowball, he'll have nothing to respond to?
Yeah, kind of, and also I'm pretty sure I really had nothing else for the Miner, so I just kind of have to bats, and if he snowballs, yeah, then I'm okay, he uses Snowball, that I can go in.
All right.
Yeah, these Mega Knight pushes by him are pretty good because I can't really defend them without taking a lot of damage, and I don't really get much of a counter push because of his poison also.
Okay. I notice you use a lot of Skeleton Barrels at the bridge, even as your opening play in this match. Is that something that you do just to try to figure out what spells they have or what deck they have?
Yeah, I think Skelly Barrel first play is... Ooh, yeah, and I have to use my Knight there to defend the Mega Knight, and you can see his Miner is just hitting away at my tower.
But yet you still have the damage. It's okay. I was just saying Skeleton Barrel on the bridge is always a good play. It seems like the pressure.
Yeah. I would always say that's a pretty solid play first play. I don't think you would ever get punished bad for that.
Okay, here he goes.
Yeah, these Mega Knight pushes,
right?
They're tough to defend without taking. And this poison right here, it's getting a lot of value. Then I have to use my Knight almost every time on his Mega Knight, and it's just letting his Miner do so much damage.
Yeah, so here we go. About 5 seconds or so remaining until we cross over again. So what's your hat at right now? You both have poison, you both have Miner, so it's it's in kind of very close to spell cycle range. You actually catch that Miner. Yeah,
so here I'm just thinking I need to start Miner poisoning and Skelly Barrel cycle. So I think I probably do a Miner here. That probably wasn't the best poison because now he's up a decent amount of elixir. And I think he Mega Knights this right here, so he gets another one of these pushes, and this is going to be tough to defend without taking 500 damage to put me in spell cycle range. Yeah, you were so close to that tower being down, but you just have to keep focusing on defense at this point, so you do so. You do so right here, Skelly. It was a really bad night by me. I tried to predict it, but it was just really late. Then I have to use my Miner in defense here because I was pretty sure that Mega Knight was going to jump my tower. And then here, I can't stop the Skelly Barrel. It gets 110 damage, and that's GG.
Yeah, you're right. That was so close, though. Oh my god. So now it is 1-1, and you're in the grand finals now. Do you make a deck choice? Pause right there, because we're going to sync up first. So I say deck change, not deck choice. Do you decide to make a deck change here?
Yeah, after like losing with that deck, I'm pretty sure like it's probably not the best idea to repeat again.
Mm-hmm.
So here, I switched to just my bread and butter, the graveyard deck.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking to myself, even if he gets like a decent matchup, I'm feeling like really confident with this deck, so I don't think it'll be that bad, and I can probably still win.
Is there one matchup? Is there one matchup that you, as a graveyard player, that you used to struggle with that you kind of figured out and you don't anymore as much?
Yeah, the Lava Hound decks, they usually counter graveyard pretty hard, but as you can see, I banned Miner because like Lapo's Miner's is his #1 deck and his #1 card.
Mm-hmm.
So Lava without Miner is like really weak compared to Lava with Miner. So, and that's another reason why I decided to use Graveyard, is because I didn't think he would use Lava without Miner, but he decided to do it anyways, and it was like a pretty good choice by him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just don't think this deck is that strong without Miner.
Okay. So here now you're surprised, but you see what he's playing, and
Yeah.
So what's your strategy going to be here? Obviously, as a graveyard player, this is your bread and butter. Like, what are you going to change? Why did you used to struggle against this type of matchup, and why do you feel confident here?
Yeah, so the main key to this matchup is your Goblin Hut. Because like if you just start spamming Goblin Huts and getting a lot of them down, then that's when you can start to like overload him and just break through.
Okay.
So right here, your defenses have to be like really, really solid in order to win these games. So I waited till the Mega Minion went in front, and then I played my Musk. So and then he had a good poison there. He killed my Skellies and got him a Mega Minion shot.
Mm-hmm.
But like this push is not the strongest, and I think I'll be able to get a good counter push on this.
Okay.
The Knight to Kite, so the Knight stays alive.
Nice.
And then a good snowball to take that out. So I'm already pretty behind on damage. So I'm gonna have to start graveyarding soon here to get back up.
Okay, so you're a little bit more aggressive with the graveyard when you're behind.
Yeah, this push by Lapo, I don't really like it that much because the Musk gets so much value that I'm able to defend and keep both my troops pretty healthy. So this is where I'll go in when I have a good counter push. Graveyard here.
Okay.
Then he has to use his snowball or his poison to kill the Musk, which is like that's not what you want to see when you play like on his end. So then my Baby Dragon splashing on all his troops, my Musk locks on for a shot.
Wow.
Get a lot of damage there.
And you just switch lanes just like that. You saw the opportunity, you seized it. Now, do you have obviously you had poison hovering there. You were just waiting for a certain amount of value, like you dropped Valkyrie and guards into it?
Yeah, since he has guards, I'm pretty sure almost every time he's going to have to drop his guards on the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
So here, I just do a graveyard again, then I know the guards are coming, so I poison immediately.
Ooh, okay.
And this, I'm not sure if that was the right push by me, because he has a pretty big push here, but I think I defended pretty well. Snowball helps a lot. And yeah, he gets some more chip right here, and it's putting me really low on tower health.
Ooh! Yeah, but I love that you actually graveyard. I would never have thought to graveyard in that situation, you know?
Yeah.
I would have probably just focused on defense. I probably would have lost my tower.
Yeah, so here I was like pretty confident he was going to Lava Bridge, so then I just knew I had to go all in. There's no way I was going to defend this without losing my tower. So I just graveyard down, poison down, snowball down, and then he spent too much with the lava, and he had no elixir to defend.
Wow. Wow, man. Were you nervous? Do you get nervous in these matches or no?
Yeah, my heart's pounding pretty hard in these games.
Nice. Okay, let's go into the next one. Yeah, so while we were syncing up there, I asked you if there's any questions that I wasn't asking you that you thought my audience would like to know about, and you mentioned your deck rotation, so can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this tournament, I mainly used like 4 decks, I think. I used Graveyard Goblin Hut, I used Balloon, Miner Cycle, and I use like Miner Cycle Skelly Barrel decks. And I think a big part about these tournaments and how to win them is having like 3 to 4 solid decks that you can just cycle through that all counter different things and get countered by different things. So that way like your opponent, they can't pick one deck that counters all 3, and you're like always going to make them guessing and switching up what they're going to run.
Okay. So this is the Balloon one. We saw the other 2. We saw the Skeleton Barrel and the Graveyard deck. Was the other one the Heal Spirit one?
Yeah, so this is my Heal Spirit Balloon deck, or the Heal Spirit Balloon deck.
Oh, okay.
So I was kind of expecting him to run a bait deck. I guess that was probably stupid by me because Miner's banned. But I didn't think he would expect me to run Balloon because Miner's banned, and I've never used this Lumberjack version in the tournament yet, so I thought it'd be a good like surprise factor. But E-Golem is just a kind of tough matchup because I have no big spell and I have no building.
Yeah.
But I defend this first push really well, and I keep the second Musk I put down fully alive. So I know here I have to make a push so I can like force out his Tornado because I have so much elixir from his Elixir Golem.
Yeah.
So here I do Lumberjack, Musketeer, Ice Golem, Bats. Then I know he's pretty low, so he's gonna have to like kind of spend cards he doesn't want to spend. So now he doesn't have a Goblin Hut, he doesn't have a Tornado and Cycle, and I know I can just Balloon and that will get at least one shot. But then he decides just to tank it and go for like a tower trade.
Okay. All right. Wow. I love that decision too. You're just able to defend that huge Elixir Golem push. Now, in general, Elixir Golem Battle Healer frustrate, I'm sure, you know, I'm not sure about you, but at least me and all my viewers, and most of my viewers. So what is the key to, like, what are some strategy keys to beating this deck, especially in double Elixir time where you're getting right now?
Yeah, so a big part of defending these Elixir Golem pushes is your log. So you want to time your log so then it gets the 2 hits or the 4 hits on the Elixir Golemites. So you see there how it splashes on the 2 Golemites and it puts them one shot. You have to kill those Golemites as quick as possible so you can get your Elixir back. And you can like start spamming all your troops.
Okay, and you just have to keep kiting if you can the battle healers.
The log there again, it hits all 4 Golemites, and then I get so much Elixir and Snowball and a Lumberjack, and then
wow.
I just have like so many troops to defend.
That's insane, dude. And pushes like that, like, most of the time they result in 3 stars, you know, 3 crowns, 3 stars when I'm playing Clash of Clans. But 3 crowns, I feel like, you know, most of the time those battle healer Elixir Golem pushes is like, they're just unstoppable. But you did a great job with your Ice Golem, kind of pulling everything back away from the blobs, you know, and just recouping that Elixir.
Yeah, so you have to stall their troops as much as you can and just go for those Elixir Golemites and get that Elixir back and just like spam all your troops and get the troops down to kill his.
So there we have it. That was the Grand Championship. RF, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Every time you're on, I ask you this, but any plans on like a YouTube channel or start consistent streams or something like that? I think a lot of people would love to hear from you.
Actually, I've posted 2 YouTube videos so far of my end of season ladder gameplay with Graveyard.
Okay.
It's no like commentary or face cam or any of that, but it's like for right now I'm just doing pure gameplay just to like try to get some content out.
Awesome.
So
man.
If you want to check out some Graveyard gameplay when I finish top 7 global, you can go to my YouTube channel. It's thegod_rf.
Okay.
And same with all my other social medias. It's the same, thegod_rf.
Awesome, guys. So all the social media and his new YouTube channel will be linked there for you guys. I'll also put it in the pinned comment for you guys. So subscribe, show him some love. And who knows, maybe if you see some early growth, it will motivate you to get that webcam and the microphone and start doing commentary.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, thanks again. Congratulations again. And we'll see you in CRL, dude.
Thank you. See ya.
No problem, guys. That's going to do it for today's video. Huge shout out to GodRF again. Check out his player stats and profile thanks to statsroyale.com. Check out his YouTube channel, his social media as well. Deck links for the decks that we featured, RF's go-to decks, will be listed for you guys in the show notes below. And a huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information as well. Thank you for watching, and a huge shout out to Revel Amar again for organizing this for me and all the streamers out there. Thank you, and as always, take care, guys.